Hello everybody, Matteo here and welcome you again in my little RC garage. Today we will get a closer look on the new Traxxas TRX-6 Mercedes-Benz 6x6. This truck is really something special. Also the real one is absolutely insane, so I thought it's good to install a more powerful motor setup. But as first, let's have a closer look on the body details. This is the graphite metallic version and comes in matte finish. This looks just awesome. And there are so many details on this body. The side exhausts, the roof spoiler with lights, windshield wipers, side mirrors, side winkers, molded hard plastic door handles and more. Overall, it looks fantastic. Also, the lighting is absolutely amazing, from the roof lights to the side markers. In my opinion, just perfect. And it comes exactly like this out of the box. The front of the chassis is the same as on the 4x4 TRX-4 chassis. Only the rear end is different. In front there is the well-known 3-link suspension with Benhart bar, and on the rear are two 4-link suspensions for each axle. This makes the axle freely movable and so good traction on rough terrain is guaranteed. Via this cable, the diff can be closed and opened on each axle by remote control. These small servos open and close the diffs. The two cables here are for the two rear axles. Good visible here are the portal axles and the steering linkage with a great steering angle. This makes the truck really good maneuverable, despite its enormous length. But now, let's go to the motor upgrade. I decided to go with this Xeron X 550 brushless combo. This is the motor, it's the 3300 kV version. This means with 3S LiPo it will make nearly 40,000 RPM. This extra motor power have to be good installed. So I have here an aluminum motor mount for the TRX-4 from Traxxas. As first I have to check how I can get the power for the light unit from the ESC. This small JST connector delivers the power for the lights and comes out of the original ESC. To be sure and make no faults, I checked the actual current coming out on this cable. It's exactly the same voltage as it comes from the battery. This makes it easy. I can solder these JST connector cables to the battery connectors on the ESC, so I have the same situation as before with the original ESC. So now I disconnect the cables of the original ESC. I remove the ESC from the chassis. Now I remove the original motor. Here you can see I have already soldered all the cables to the ESC, the JST connector for the light unit. At the motor cables you have to be careful to use each cable on the correct position, A, B and C. To check the system, I connect the cable to the receiver. I have already calibrated the system to the transmitter. This procedure is well explained in the manual. And everything works. But now I want to check if there is a firmware upgrade for the ESC. For this I have to connect the ESC with the Hobbywing app on my smartphone. This works without cable via Bluetooth. And yes, here is an upgrade. So I start the installation process. installation is finished now and the new firmware is installed on the ESC. But now the system will not work. I have to do automatic motor pairing. For this procedure I have to disconnect the cable from the receiver, connect a battery, and after press the start button, I have to press the set button for a few seconds. So the automatic motor pairing starts. And after some movements of the motor, the procedure is finished and the system is now ready to use. I have to install a pinning gear now. I have this steel pinion from XCL with 11 tooths. It's a 32 pitch pinion for 5mm motor shaft diameter. It's interesting, a pinning gear was also included with the motor, so it's not necessary to buy an extra one. So the motor plate is installed. You can choose different mounting positions to get the proper gear mesh. So here you can see everything is installed and ready for a test run. Yes, everything works, but the wheel's turning on the wrong direction, so I have to change the motor direction. To do this, I have to connect the ESC again with the smartphone. On the setup list here is an option to switch the motor turning direction. Yes, the wheel's turning on the correct direction now. You can see also the cooling fan works. I have it connected to the receiver via a servo extension cable. Now let's see if the light unit works. And yes, everything perfect. Now I'm going to make some improvements on the body. For the interior I use, as always, my self-made interior with driver figure from Tamiya and rubber seats from Extra Speed. I installed it on the inside with strong adhesive tape. In my opinion, it looks much better with a driver figure inside the cockpit. One other thing I like to modify is the color of the rear bed. I like to have it in matte black. Instead of painting it, I use this adhesive film in matte black. In my opinion, it's easier to do as everything masking and painting. Here you can see the result. I use the same adhesive film to do some fine body lines. I cut it in fine lines and apply this on the body. Here you can see the result after applying the door lines on the body. So these are enough modifications. Let's go out and see how the new motor turns. So here we are, now ready to test this brushless system on my TRX-6. Now I switch to the first gear and test the slow speed capabilities. And you can see how good the turning radius is for such a long vehicle. Now this is it for the moment. I'm happy how the new motor works, and this Traxxas TRX-6 is an amazing vehicle. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and see you next time at Matteo's RC Movies.